Behold. Hello. Welcome in.
Hello.
So please, I know you guys have been in the green room for a bit. Please step into the studio.
Let me just do that real quick.
Okay. Yeah, welcome everyone to another episode of GameLusters. I am recording this a little bit ahead of time because we're doing Video Games the Musical, and that's going to take some time to actually record whatever song we end up making at the end. So this will buy us some time, I think. Yeah, but we're today we're going to be talking about Legend of Zelda: Skyward Sword, a fan favorite among, I guess, some of us in the studio right now. But I am Nirav, and I'm going to be your host as always. And Ree is again not here because I'm still recording this at a weird time, but she will be back. I promise she's not dead. And I'm joined by Chelsea.
Hello, hello.
And Ryan.
Hello.
Just one hello from Ryan, not as enthusiastic as I would have liked.
Dang it.
So yeah. All right. So yeah, we're just easy breezy here. So everyone just, take off your shoes. Just kind of just chill. I'm trying to I want us to sound very professional. Like, oh shit, they have like a physical studio. Oh damn. But yeah. So we're gonna just kind of ease in by just talking about what's everyone playing right now. So Ryan, why don't you kick us off? What video games are you looking at?
Well, I'm still going through Nier Automata, thanks to you. I think my Steam has been running out for Final Fantasy 15 because everybody I know, including you, told me that the end ruins it. So I've kind of slowed down.
I don't think it ruins it. Like the actual ending is okay, but the second half of the game is kind of depressingly badly written.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess eventually I'll tell you what I think.
Have you gotten to the big thing?
I got to a big Titan man, and I'm past that.
The big thing involves a Leviathan. Have you gotten to that?
No.
Okay. Then that is when things take a turn.
Okay. I'm also playing Dragon's Dogma, which is very fun. I'm kind of late to coming to games if people don't realize that already. And then this past few days I've been playing Stellaris, which is a very fun game.
Okay, I've heard of that, but I know literally nothing of it. What is that?
It's like a space real-time version of Civ, but like more complex. I've never played the Crusader Kings games, but from what I hear, it seems like somewhere in between Civ and Crusader Kings in like complexity.
Okay.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Oh, was that the thing that I was watching you play in Discord the other day?
Yes, that was it.
Okay.
With the solar systems that you.
Yeah. Okay. Is that like a 4X game? Is what they call it?
Who makes Stellaris? I don't
No,
know.
like it's a genre of game. Oh. It's a 4X game. It's like a kind of strategy. It's like a subgenre. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, cool. Chelsea, what are you doing video game wise?
So I was working my way through the Blood and Wine expansion of The Witcher 3, but our TV broke a couple of weeks ago, and I've been playing it on the Switch, and I hate playing the Switch handheld, so I haven't really been playing anything right now because I have trouble playing more than one game at a time. So I've just been, and I don't want to move. I'm too lazy to move the Switch to our other TV. So
it would just really be a matter of just moving the dock, and you can't manage to do it. Is the idea?
Yeah. I just keep thinking that because our TV is at the repair shop, so I just keep thinking, oh, like why move it? It's gonna be fixed, and then it'll be home. And then the guy called us and was like, yeah, we fixed it, but there's like a new problem, so you're probably just gonna have to buy a new TV. So now I'm just pouting about the TV situation because I don't want to buy a new TV.
Also, there are certain games that Chelsea likes to only experience in her nest, in the couch downstairs.
Yeah.
And it's just not the same on a monitor or on smaller TV for her.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a
well,
specific setup that I really like for games that I'm really into, which obviously The Witcher 3, I've got almost like 200 hours in it right now. I would consider that a game I'm really into. So,
She's in the middle of reading like her last Witcher book left.
oh shit.
yeah,
Are they all translated into English now?
I believe so. Season of Storms is the one I'm currently on. I believe, yeah, they're all translated now.
Okay.
But Season of Storms
Nice.
isn't a part of like the linear story. It's a collection of short stories, but it was
Yeah.
published after the main story.
Oh, okay. So that is sort of, you're still getting that Witcher high.
Yeah.
Though.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do once you finish that material?
Well, I've got a couple other books to read, but video games wise, I'm gonna go and play The Witcher 1 on.
Oh my god, are you sure?
on my PC, which should be.
Have you watched gameplay
I
of it?
have, but
I
like
tried to tell her.
I know. I still want to though, you know.
Sure.
I'm gonna get a bunch of mods. I've already been looking.
She doesn't have to buy anything because I already do
it.
have them on Steam.
Also,
and,
that game costs like 7 cents.
Well,
Anyway,
right,
so.
right.
But we already own it.
But it's even easier because it's already downloaded on that computer.
Yeah.
Well, I will say probably by the time I get finished with Blood and Wine, because I'm not even halfway through it, Skyward Sword will be out on the Switch, and that will probably be the next thing that I play. How's that for a segue? But that's also just true.
Okay. It was actually not a good segue because I have to still talk about my thing.
Well, never mind. You can cut that out in editing.
No, it's gonna be in there. I finished Nier Replicant this morning finally. So 40 hours, it is done. Very good ending. Very happy with it. It is a beautiful story. I think I like Automata more, definitely, but Nier Replicant has the characters in that game are just so much more endearing and lovable, and like I feel like I genuinely care about these characters, whereas like 2B and 9S are like sort of a vehicle to deliver a theme, if that makes sense. Ryan, I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense to you. Like those, I feel like those characters were kind of like exist to like, you know, convey a theme and support a theme, and like, which I like, but like it was kind of cool to see this being so character focused and just like come to care about these characters so much and like drop a few tears here and there. But yeah, ending E was like took forever to get to. Like Chelsea, I don't know if you know a lot about these games, but you have to like replay the game a bunch of times to like get the real endings. And it changes each time slightly. This one is a lot more like unforgiving and I think disrespectful of your time though. The first game, because so even after you finish ending D and you've replayed the second half of the game 3 times, it says it erases everything, and then you have to know you're supposed to just start a new save file and then play through the first like 3 hours of the game again from scratch, and then suddenly things like just jump back to where you were at the end of D, and then like you open up ending E, and then you have like another hour to like finish the game.
Wow, this sounds like a nightmare to me personally.
It's very complicated, but it was like a masterpiece. Like seriously, I'm very impressed with it. It's probably my favorite game this year so far.
Wow.
But yeah. Anyway, I did do some cry, and I've learned to love again.
Oh, that's good. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's both of these games kind of are centered on the theme of like what makes people human, and then like kind of firmly declares like against all the odds that like just the ability to care about each other and feel compassion and concern is what like makes us human, and it doesn't matter if we're automatons or replicants or like robots or whatever. Like
as long as we can feel.
If you can care about others, then you know you're human enough, and like that's what matters, and like that's nice.
I can get behind that.
It's a nice time. I would definitely recommend people play Automata first, because like I don't feel like I would see a lot of people getting through the tedious repetitive nature of Replicant like without knowing that there was going to be some sort of payoff like that at the end. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But anyway, very good, and I'm
No, I was just gonna say it's like Chelsea wanting to now go back to The Witcher 1.
Yes, that is kind of similar actually. So at the end of The Witcher 1, do you have to kill the Shadow Lord?
It's been a long time. There's something in like a forest with a
Probably
bunch of
something like
stones.
that. Probably something. And then I am also gonna be jumping back into 13 Sentinels. I'm excited. I played 2 hours of it back in November, and it was so fantastic. Ryan, this is another game that I genuinely think you would be super duper into.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've talked about it before. It got a lot of recognition for like the narrative, because it is sort of it looks like an old school point and click adventure thing almost. It's a PS4 exclusive though, but
Huh.
it's by Atlas, the Persona people, but it's very
Right.
much not
Okay.
like similar to Persona in any way. But it's like nice, it's like beautiful hand drawn art. Actually, if y'all want to look it up, it's like gorgeous artwork, and it's like a moving like watercolor piece the whole way through, and like it's basically this like crazy timeline of like these 13 students like across 100 years of time who like see the end of the world, and like basically like time moves them all, like keeps forcing them all together into the same place to like try to stop the destruction of the earth. It's very cool. It's like very smartly written, and it's like very very good dialogue. So it is almost entirely like walking from one place to another, and then talking, and then like thinking about stuff, and then talking more, and then like picking up an item. It's like it's an adventure game, like in that, like what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
Is very very good though, so I'm excited to jump into it. Anyway, I have rattled on long enough. We gotta get into the heavy-handed business of hitting things with the sword. Yeah, so let's jump into bust 'em. So welcome everyone to our main segment here. So yeah, we're getting everyone psyched up for the HD remaster of Skyward Sword. So Chelsea, I know you're a big fan. Why don't you just give us like a brief rundown of like what the game is, sort of?
So you wake up in Skyloft. I think your bird is actually what wakes you up. You go through your training, and once again, you have to save Zelda, of course. I think she's taken by Girahim. Isn't that the villain? That's the villain.
Yeah, that's the guy who keeps licking his
Yeah,
lips and looking at like
he makes an impression, for sure.
he's stylish.
Yeah, I'll give him that. He's stylish. But there's the three main areas. So you start off in Skyloft. That's kind of like your hub. You have, your big. Is there a specific name for the birds? I can't even remember at this point. Loftwings. That's right.
Mhm.
You have to fly your Loftwing around and like drop down through like a hole in the clouds. And then there's either like there's Elden Volcano, Lanayru Gorge, and then the Farron Woods, Lake Floria area, and you just gotta whack things with your Wiimote, and then save Zelda essentially.
Great.
I know that's a very
Yeah.
simplistic overview, but
No, that's good. We'll get into it, but I just,
yeah.
if anyone here hasn't seen any footage from it or anything, I want to have sort of an image in your
Mm-hmm.
mind. So also, by the way, fun thing I learned literally 2 days ago is that the Wii remote is not called the Wiimote. Like, and Nintendo actually actively discourages people calling it the Wiimote. They launched many campaigns back in the day to make sure people did not call it a Wiimote. It is a Wii remote.
Why?
Oh.
Except everybody ever said it was the Wiimote, and I'm pretty sure I've seen advertising and stuff call it the Wiimote
Yeah,
too.
that's wild.
Huh.
I don't know. It's one of those Nintendo things, I
Huh.
guess.
Yeah,
Why?
that has not been
I honestly don't
that's
know.
not been a successful campaign of theirs, because like
No. I mean, they also ran that campaign back in the 90s or like 80s, I guess, to like make sure that like they didn't lose the name Nintendo. Because of what is that thing called when like
yeah, the same
when your thing
like with Velcro and
Like wide.
yeah.
Velcro, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah, there was a whole thing where like because like Nintendo actually was in court, and like it was dangerously close to being a situation where the word Nintendo was literally going to be like a common name for just video game
Right.
console,
Lose
and they
your
were going to lose the
Yeah,
brand.
lose the copyright stuff. Yeah, because it becomes
Yeah.
generic essentially.
Oh wait, hold on. Apparently Wiimote was trademarked by Miami-based TV remote manufacturer for Phobos Technologies, and the
Oh,
sales of
Nintendo could
Wiimote,
never stand up
the
to their
sales of
might.
Wiimote, which totaled less than 1 million as of 2008, had fallen due to confusion with the Wiimote. So they said it was trademark infringement. That I think explains it
Oh,
probably.
yeah.
That probably explains it. I can't believe Phobos TV took down Nintendo.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's good to know actually. Okay, so they got kicked off on development for this in 2006, literally days after they released Twilight Princess. They were like, all right, let's get going. um, no breaks. So
Dang.
this was, of course, developed internally at Nintendo at their in-house studio, and this was uh, assisted actually, and I did not know this. They were assisted by Monolith Soft for support work.
Hmm.
If y'all don't know, Monolith Soft is the creators of Xenoblade Chronicles. So they helped out on the. They actually. So I don't know if y'all know this either. On Breath of the Wild was actually co-developed by Nintendo and Monolith Soft.
Okay.
Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so they've been working with the Zelda team for a while now, actually, and they're actually working on Breath of the Wild 2 right now, and they actually worked on Age of Calamity as well. So they're pretty deep into Zelda as well as their own Xenoblade stuff.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Yeah, they actually were the ones who made the map for Breath of the Wild. Like Monolith Soft's job
I
was to
did hear
make
that.
the world map, and Nintendo kind of did everything
Well, they
else.
killed it. We have that map
Yeah,
printed on a canvas in our
We
home.
sure
We
do.
like it so much.
I actually have a little one too. I got in the collector's
Oh,
edition
nice.
that I got on day one. Yeah, Reggie handed it to me at the
Of
Target.
course.
Um, so yeah, they were like, okay, let's get in on the next one. So you guys know Eiji Aonuma? He's the Zelda man.
Hmm.
Um, so Aonuma is continued on being the lead producer. Basically, when Miyamoto stepped down after Ocarina of Time from being like the director of the games, like he took like a supervisory role, but he didn't. He after Ocarina of Time, he was like, all right, I don't want to like make Zelda games anymore. Um, and he has more of like a management role at Nintendo, but
Hmm.
uh, his sort of like second in command guy on the Zelda games up to that point, Eiji Aonuma, took over as the director, and he has directed every Zelda game since or main Zelda game since Majora's Mask. So including Breath of the Wild. So he's the guy if you ever see any like Zelda stuff on like a Nintendo Direct, he's the guy talking with the glasses. Um, so yeah, he was kicking off development on Twilight Princess finishing development on Twilight Princess, and they said that they had like wanted to make like well, sorry, quickly, have y'all played Twilight Princess?
I have not.
I haven't either.
Okay, I have, so that's fine. Twilight Princess is tries to be kind of more open. Like there is a hub area on the ground, and there's like 4 areas around it that are kind of more openish, and you can mostly move between them freely, but like not all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You can see where they kind of had an attempt to like make it more freedom of movement, and like just kind of were not able to get it to work. Well, this time they were like, all right, I want to do Twilight Princess, but like way more open. They want it to be like you can pretty much go and do stuff wherever you want. This I don't know if y'all know this. Skyward Sword's development famously lasted like 5 whole years. Like it went like way over time and budget.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, actually, Miyamoto said that at the time it was the most expensive game Nintendo had ever made.
Damn.
Mostly because of how over budget and off schedule they were.
Was it a lot was it like this is maybe a dumb question, but did that have a lot to do with like the Wii Motion Plus aspect of the
It
gameplay?
did have a
Okay.
lot to do with the Wii Motion
Okay.
Plus. Good call. We will get to that. Yeah, that is actually exactly why.
Okay.
yeah, like I said, they showed off the game for the first time in 2008 because they were like, "Oh, it's almost ready," and then like they realized, then they had to work in the Wii Motion Plus stuff, and they had to build an entirely new game, like literally from the ground up, and so it didn't come out till 2011. So it was one of those things where people are like, "Oh, this is never going to come out." It was, kind of an Elden Ring vibe. But anyway, so basically development time took a full 2 years longer than was originally anticipated. But they did release it in June 2011. So they actually were not originally going to do this as like an origin story. They kind of were like, okay, we want to make a game focused on like the Master Sword. Like we want to make it. They actually decided to make it more of an origin story for the Master Sword itself rather than like the origin story for like Hyrule, I guess.
Mhm.
But they kind of like built around that, and we're like, okay, so Skyloft kind of originally was not in the sky. Is interesting.
Oh.
Like, yeah, the hub town originally was not in the sky, and the reason that happened was because they were like unable to figure out a good way to get you to different like areas quickly, basically.
Gotcha.
And somebody on the team had the idea like, what if the city's in the sky and you just jump off?
That is quite literally what you do.
Yeah. And then so this is interesting here. Let me read this. So they had a huge problem trying to create like do the story for this because the initial story plans were like entirely just like they kept finding contradiction after contradiction to like all of the established lore.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were trying to do an origin story, and like every time they brought something up, someone was like, actually that contradicts the lore we established here. Actually, do you think it was one guy? I think it was one guy.
I hope it was one guy.
So one of the producers, Fujibayashi, who ended up becoming the story producer, he decided to pretend he was sick, and he shut himself in his room for 24 hours at his house, and he didn't leave. And he wrote the entire story for Skyward Sword in one day.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah. And they used it. That was the one they ended up using.
Hey, if it works,
Like,
it works.
oh wait, hold on.
George Lucas.
This guy, this was the guy, right? This was the guy who kept saying, that's actually not accurate."
Probably, yeah.
So Mori, who was their lead writer, ended up just writing the dialogue based on this treatment that Fujibayashi had made for the story, and they said that Fujibayashi was extremely intent on including a scene where Zelda jumped off the edge of Skyloft and Link caught her. He said that was a mandatory part of his script.
Damn.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I don't know if that's like servicing some like very obscure fetish or something, but
Oh God, I don't even.
Just fulfilling his dream where he's Link.
oh, that's probably it.
That's
yeah.
probably. I'm just gonna go
That's
with that instead of a fetish thing.
So yeah, I think y'all can speak to this a little bit too. Like this incarnation of Zelda and Link are very different than any of the other games in the series.
Yes.
And I love them for that. But yeah, why don't you tell me a little about that, Chelsea?
Am I the best person to do that?
Okay, Ryan, why don't you tell me a little about that?
Compared to all the other 3D Zeldas, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
What? I mean, well, obviously the sort of there's. It feels like there's both more and less exploration all at the same time.
Well, I was talking more specifically about like the actual characters, Link and Zelda, like in this incarnation.
Oh well.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
well,
sure.
they're just more,
I just wanted to let you guys have an opportunity to talk
so
a
just
little.
In my defense, like this is the first Zelda game I ever played. So to me, this is like the default Link and Zelda in my head.
Yeah. I mean, I do remember watching Chelsea play this and thinking, oh wow, they're like already interacting this much this early in the game. They're kind of friends.
They seem
Yeah,
and it
so
seems like there's I don't know. I could be completely wrong here, but it seems like there's more of like a romantic subtext that's more
yeah,
overt.
there's
Yes.
yeah, there is like a romantic, I guess, main text
Well,
also.
yeah, that's true. I guess.
But yeah, like so quickly, like Skyward Sword was also the first Zelda I ever played. I played that when I was in college, and I still remember like standing in my room because I had to stand to waggle the Wiimote whatever around. And um I'd never played a Zelda game when I was a kid, but like when I was like a sophomore in college, like I had this Wii sitting in my room, and like I remember just going to GameStop and being like, "Yo, what's good?" I wish I could ever be there again. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I wish I could ever be in a place where I could like walk into a GameStop and be like, "What's good?" and somebody could hand me something as prolific as like Zelda, and I'm like,
Right.
"What's that?"
So the way I found it, I don't even remember how I got the game. Like we just had like a Wii in our house for like a couple of years. Like we played Wii Sports on it, like everybody else, and we
Mhm.
had Mario Kart. But I didn't really have a whole lot of other games. But I somehow wound up taking the Wii with me my freshman year of undergrad. And it was like we used it for Netflix. That was the idea. But I
Mhm.
guess maybe someone because I didn't like go seek it out, but I somehow arrived at in my possession. I don't know if someone gave it to me as like a Christmas gift or what, but suddenly I think I had it for like a couple months before I was like, I'm bored. I'm not making friends. I'm a loser in my freshman year of college. Like, I'll just sit here and try this out, see what it's about. And then I like didn't leave my dorm for like I don't even know how
Aw.
long. Like I just sat in my dorm on my bed and like anytime I wasn't in class anyways. And sometimes I think I skipped class, which that was not like a thing for me to do at the time. But
Oh, that's
it
nice.
was just like
Yeah,
it
no,
was like an addiction. Like I sat there with like and I know it's
just
yeah,
waggling.
and it's really like basically. And it's also like the first game that I like played all the way through. Like it was my first real video game experience. Like I had played, bits and pieces of Ocarina of Time and I'd played like Mario Kart, but I hadn't ever played like a single player story game.
Yeah, no,
So
I get what you're
like
saying. Yeah.
that's why I think that's probably why I like defend this game so much cuz like people shit on it for, legitimate reasons, but like I'm very fiercely protective of it because it was like my introduction to both Zelda and just gaming in general.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm having an audio snafu.
Oh no, what's
Hmm.
happening?
Am I here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry, my headphones died. I had to plug them in.
Oh,
Oh.
Yeah, I heard everything you said though. So no, I totally like get what you're saying though. Like I also hadn't really gotten into like a big single player like narrative game. Like literally like the closest thing I think I had played before even this game was like I played all the Pokemon games like, many times through. Like but outside of that I really just was like, let's dick around in Mario or whatever. Um, so yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I have a specific memory of I feel like I have to have told you guys my like horrific like college breakup story where my like girlfriend like broke into my apartment and tried to like actually kill me.
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
So the beginning of the story, the really or like the part where things escalate is because I was in my dorm. I was on like the ground floor and there was like a courtyard that my window was facing. And so like the way that I was oriented, if I was looking at my TV, like I was like to my left was my window. Okay.
Mhm.
And so like the very specific memory of this is ingrained in me because I was in like the volcano temple or whatever. I was fighting the like
Oh
Lizalfos and I was
yeah,
waggling
yeah.
my Wii remote. And I looked to the left and like my ex-girlfriend was like literally like pressed up against the glass, just like watching me.
Jesus.
And that
Oh.
was like when and things escalated there, and I won't get into it right now. But that, that I think this game is sort of really associated with the absolute sheer terror of that moment for me.
Right. That would make sense.
Yeah.
But I still love it.
I'm glad.
And then I also I also remember one time, like, I got stuck on something, and like I had to call in my friend who was like a Zelda pro, and she like lived in a dorm above me. She had to like come down and like waggle the Wii remote good. And, like, man. Yeah. So anyway, we'll have to probably keep moving on, but yeah. So Link and Zelda in this story are childhood friends. They are best friends, and Anuma said that they made that decision because he literally ran out of ideas like why Link would rescue Zelda anymore.
That's a good point.
He's like, if I just make them like best friends, then like there's already a built-in reason. I don't have to establish anything.
Yeah.
And yes, this is the only Zelda game where Link and Zelda are canonically like romantically together.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen in any other iteration of the story, even though I think people assume it does. But that is one of the reasons I love this iteration of them.
This game definitely gives me more of like a Dracula story type vibe. Like the effeminate guy or evil person has stolen the love interest in order to become more evil.
I don't know if Dracula stole Mina to become more evil.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yes.
You have to save the love interest from the evil effeminate guy, like Final Fantasy X.
It's all Final Fantasy.
It's all
X,
it all circles
What
back.
year did that come out? That was before this, right?
2006.
Yeah, it would have definitely been before this.
2001.
Oh Jesus.
Okay. Never
Oh,
mind.
it was a PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah.
PS2 boy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, like queer coding your villains is not a new or uncommon thing.
No.
My mom has been texting me because she found out that her friend's daughter, who I'll explain in a minute, Richa, lives in Savannah with me, and not with me, obviously, here in the same city.
Additionally, lives in Savannah.
Additionally, and I have not talked to this girl in like 10 years at least, but this is my mom's like close friend, so I do know this girl pretty well from like when I was a kid. But just like she's like a professional tease. I'm not excited about reconnecting with her. Anyway, I just need to get that off my plate. And if somehow, Risha, you are one of our listeners, I apologize. Not enjoyed our time together.
Oh God.
Okay, so anyway, we'll keep rolling, but okay, this was also a weird thing. Somebody was like, I'm gonna say it was the same guy. Somebody was extremely intent on having Zelda push Link off of a ledge exactly 3 times during the story.
Okay, the pushing off just in general I can understand, but exactly 3 times I'm assuming because like Triforce, but like
well, they said that they thought it would be a good 3-time gag, and then apparently there was like a big internal fight and they had to cut it down to 2. I don't understand like what the significance of this was, but it seems like it really tore the team apart.
That is pathetic.
You gotta Chelsea, you gotta care about your shit this much to make a Zelda.
I guess, yeah. If that's what it takes to make a good game, I guess have at it. I don't have to be a part of the process.
That it is.
I'm not sure that it is either. Let's see. So because Link is, as always mute and, doesn't really talk or do anything, they wanted to show like sort of his character development by mirroring it in his rival, everyone's favorite character,
Groose.
Yeah, so Groose's development as a character is supposed to sort of mirror Link's like journey to maturity through this story, because this is like a very traditionally a coming of age story for Link and Zelda. So how do you guys feel about the artwork in this one versus the other games?
I like it. I mean, it looks kind of like a...
Ryan, do you have a question?
I don't. I accidentally clicked that.
Okay, it says you raised your hand.
I like it because it's... And I think the decision... Because it looks like a watercolory, storybooky kind of aesthetic. And I think having them be friends and have that like romantic thing pairs well with the art style. And also it's like...
Yeah, it does strike me as that.
Yeah.
It's like also just kind of like bright and fluffy, and I don't know, having a setting be the clouds I think that's
Right.
nice.
I was gonna say the art style almost seems to be designed to make the clouds look good.
Yeah, they actually that is exactly true.
Oh,
That is actually something Miyamoto said, that when they were decided to move to being like the sky city and everything, Skyloft, they looked around, and Paul Cézanne, who's an impressionist, was like known for his use of, making these clouds in the sky like beautiful, and so they built the artwork off of Cézanne, and then they cited some other impressionists like Claude Monet, but they really wanted this to, for that exact reason, to make the sky like pop.
It worked.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the Wii Motion Plus. So I don't know if anyone like remembers or not, but if you got Skyward Sword when it came out, then you also needed to purchase an attachment for your Wii remote that would plug into the bottom of it.
Yep.
And then like there was like a case attached to it, and you could like loop it around like the remote.
Mm-hmm.
And that was called the Wii Motion Plus, and it was like, okay, plug this into the Wii remote to make it work good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chelsea was the one that owned the Wii, and whenever like the good controller that had the blue case around it was low on battery, I would grab the other ones and just be very confused about, okay, I have to attach this, I have to do that. Oh, also this controller just isn't as good. Let me just wait for the blue one to work again.
Well, regardless, in order to use your shield, you still had to plug in the nunchuck attachment.
Right. God damn it.
So you did have to have that. And that looked ridiculous. Like if you walked past someone holding that, like you just look like an idiot. Like that's like the one like you just granted, like I was in my dorm alone, so like no one saw me, but like it just felt ridiculous holding like two vaguely sex toy shaped objects in separate hands, and then you're like waving them around. Like
actually, never mind. Yeah,
is that not what it is? I mean, it's fun. Okay, don't get me wrong.
Name the sex toy, and I'll believe you.
Name drop it. I guess I hadn't thought about like the nunchuck controller really does too, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it super does. Okay. And literally the only reason you use that is just for like, as far as I remember, just like shield bashing.
Shield and then like walking, I guess, right, or whatever. Like,
do you use it for what?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, because you use the little Joy-Con.
Yeah, use the joystick.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, they had actually developed the entire game around using a very standard non-motion control thing, because they said that they couldn't get the motion controls to like be accurate enough on the regular Wii remote. And so they developed the entire game for regular play first. And then so they had like, you just holding a nunchuck in the Wii remote and like, just pressing buttons to do stuff as you would normally. And then they Fujibayashi stormed in again. This is the nerd with the glasses from earlier. And like 2 years into development, he's like, look, I had the Wii Motion Plus. And everyone's like, dude, we're like almost done with the game. But he showed off his design plan to Aonuma, and Aonuma was so excited about the prospect of the Wii Motion Plus that he was like, throw everything we have in the garbage. Man. He was really excited. I don't know, it said he was extremely enthusiastic about it, but basically like after about a year of doing that, they found it was so hard to implement properly that they considered just doing another restart on it.
Jeez.
But you know what saved them? It was Wii Sports Resort.
Really?
Dang.
Yeah, Wii Sports Resort released, and Aonuma noticed how good the fencing was. He said like the fencing was exactly what they wanted from the swordplay in Zelda. And so he went over and he talked to the Wii Sports team, and they just loaned him the swordplay tech with the motion controls, and they literally just put the Zelda skin on it.
Damn, that was nice of them.
And it worked. It worked, I guess, is maybe relative, but
it worked. Put air quotes around worked.
It worked more for some than it did for others.
Sure.
I.e., it worked well for Chelsea. She's very good at it.
It did. It does strangely. I'm kind of okay at it. Like it usually works for me.
Chelsea's like amazing. I don't understand like what we're doing different. but she's very good at it, and I think I'm well below average.
Okay, I see. Can I say something also? I was not aware that this was not like necessary, but when I was playing this game the first time and it said to like flap, like, flap to like control the loft wing, I was like flapping both of my arms like a bird to like fly the loft wing around, like in wide arcs, and it was very good. Like,
Oh,
honestly, I would
man.
no, looking back, I would not change a thing. That was very fun.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that. It gives you pretty specific instructions on how to do it. Because, like I said, this is
Yeah.
my first game, so I was
I'm
reading.
sick of waggling the Wii remote. Let
Mhm.
me fly.
I know one criticism I've seen of this game is that it's like very handholdy and it's too linear. But because this was my
Uh-huh.
first game, like that was exactly what I needed. And like all of the annoying like little pop-ups from Fee, like I used
Yeah.
all of that. Like I
Oh, I'm 86% sure you're gonna love this tutorial.
yeah. Oh God, that percentages I did not like that. She could just
Ugh.
shut the hell up. But like I do remember like because I was like I have to fly this thing. What? But it does give you like specific instructions that don't entail flapping your own human arms.
Okay, but see, the thing is, I
I'm
did like
I'm
flapping
glad
my own human
I'm glad
arms,
that you liked it.
and maybe on some level, maybe on some level I knew.
You were struggling to get
I mean,
free
the
emotionally.
flying
I don't know.
was like one of my favorite parts of the game.
I think it was actually not badly done. Like, I remember there were tiny mini games scattered around for you to fly
Yeah,
around.
it was
I
just
hated the
fun.
Do you
flying.
remember there was like a pumpkin island? Why was there a pumpkin
It was
island?
just
I
full
do
of like little
remember
mini
that.
games. Just little mini
Yes,
games.
minigame side quests. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chelsea, how do you feel about dousing?
I
Yeah. Fuck.
I was good at it. I thought it was useful. Like I get why people didn't like it, but
It
like
was. Switching
I
into it and switching out of it was a pain for
that's
Okay,
me.
fair.
so I read what they taught, why they implemented the dowsing, and I think there are two ways to look at this. So what they said was they created the dowsing idea so that they didn't have to create natural pathing and environmental landmarks to naturally steer the players to where they needed to go, and instead they were free to just design a world that looked like a real place. Um, I can't really speak to if that maybe is because of time constraints, um, or if they genuinely felt that way. But like, I don't know. How do y'all feel about that? Do you, like, because in a video game, things are built in a specific way, like level
Hmm.
design, so that it naturally paths you, in the correct place.
Yeah.
Right.
But they said they didn't consider it for this game because like there's the dowsing thing. Just hang out with Fee and go figure that out.
Yeah, it probably would have been more helpful, but I didn't know any different at the time when I was playing, so I thought it was fine.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That is one of the reasons I am kind of worried about going back to this game when the Switch one comes out, because I'm like, I don't want to like hate this game
So
retroactively. I love it right
I
now.
actually
Yeah.
tried replaying it like not even that long ago. It
No, like last year, I think.
like last year. Yeah. And I stopped replaying it when they announced they were going to put it on the Switch cuz I was like, "Oh, okay, I still want to keep playing this, but like the motion controls are really not fun. I really like having a regular controller, and if that option's available to me, I'll just wait." But to me, I still like it. Like I wish there was a way to fast scroll through like some of the dialogue and like get Fee to talk to me less now that I've played it before. But I still really like the game, honestly. Like, and that's probably a lot of that is nostalgia talking. Um, but I think it's good still. I do wish
Yeah.
I remember the main complaints that I had about it now, 10 years after I've was in college. Um, I didn't like the way the camera panning was terrible because you couldn't
Okay.
pan the camera. You had to like turn and wait for the camera to go where you wanted and then like lock it. You couldn't actually control it. So that
Oh
was
man, I hope they fix
I hope
that.
they fix that too. I'm assuming they will. That was really annoying. And then I sometimes get lost in games, like in places, especially if they look kind of samey. And I
Mhm.
would get lost in Elden Volcano, especially once you get like the flame earrings that allow you to go everywhere. Some of those
Yeah.
passages inside the volcano look too similar to each other. And there's
Okay.
not
Fair.
like there's not a very good mini map. And so I would get lost trying to like find the spirit realm little tiers or whatever they're called.
Mm.
I would
Mhm.
get lost and then I would die and I would have to do the whole
I
thing
think
over again.
the Spirit Realms were one of the few times I didn't get lost. I've been lost in every game I've ever played.
I hate the Spirit
So one
Realms.
interesting thing, yeah,
I liked them.
the shadow realm.
Yeah.
Did you like them?
No, I thought it was fine. I mean, like, I also was very new to this stuff, so like,
Yeah.
I didn't have anything to judge it against. I guess
I thought they were
like,
fun.
oh, that's fine.
I really dislike
Um,
anything where like if you die, you have to do the whole thing over again. And that's what
Yeah.
Have you heard of Dark Souls?
I'm never gonna play Dark Souls.
Shoot,
That is my
never.
no. But like sometimes you would get because you had to get like I think 30 of the little drops or whatever tiers. I can't remember what they were.
Oh, yeah. Like, also, sorry. Let me just shout out again how every single fucking time you picked up an item, it's like, remember this? You just got
yeah,
one.
it's like
Yeah.
and they
Fuck.
wouldn't do that if it was like within that like play session. Like if you got
Right.
2 of like a
If you got the
feather,
same item,
then they wouldn't do
yeah.
it. But if you came back to after a save, oh yeah, I hated that. That was awful.
Lots of like little quality of life stuff that I think that is one of the things they said they fixed
Yeah.
in the remaster too.
Yeah, and I guess I kind of assumed they would fix those things because like
Yeah.
it is like a game that like a lot of people have a lot of complaints about. So I mean, I would imagine, I mean, I would hope since they're selling it for full price anyways, that they will listen to those like little critiques and little quality of life updates that they could make.
Yeah.
But you know, I could be wrong.
Yeah. Well. So Koji Kondo, who I don't know if you all know, you familiar with the man?
Nope.
No.
Koji Kondo is the composer who composed all of the music for the Legend of Zelda and the Mario series. So he's done some good work out there. So from their very conception, he has been the composer for both of those main series. And Skyward Sword was the first Zelda game that Koji Kondo actually stepped down on and just took a supervisory role and didn't end up writing the music himself. And so they had 4 other composers come in that they hired in, younger folks, and he took a supervisory role. And he himself composed only one single piece of music, which was the prologue music when they show you like the origins of Hyrule.
Gotcha.
I liked this. He helped in arranging other composers' pieces using an electric piano and a Mac.
Oh.
All right.
Amazing.
All right, cool. Composing Zelda on GarageBand. So they kind of split up the work, and the lead composer was a woman for this, which is exciting. Fuji, she was responsible for like doing all the music for environments and dungeons and boss battles and like for Skyloft. And the art and environment and the music teams worked really closely with each other because they wanted they wanted the music to like reflect what you were seeing and like vice versa. And so they I don't know, do you guys feel like that worked out? I think it did. I remember the music being very good and very well like positioned, I guess.
I agree. I really like the music. Ryan will probably have stronger opinions on it than me, though.
Oh, I'd have to hear it again. You played the game so many more times than me. I remember enjoying it. The music in Skyloft is memorable, and the music in the volcano is memorable. But that's mostly what I remember. But I don't remember being annoyed at it, like in Breath of the Wild in the volcano area. Chelsea hates those trombones.
I do hate those trombones.
Yeah. So Breath of the Wild actually was the very first Zelda game where Koji Kondo wasn't involved at all.
Wow.
I believe he had literally zero impact on that score. But anyway, so this was actually the first time also that Nintendo had ever used a live orchestra for music.
Oh.
It was for Skyward Sword.
Right.
Yep.
Fancy.
Yep. Yeah, they had been using synthesized instruments up until then. And so Miyamoto, they actually they actually planned to be using synthesized synthesized instruments, but Miyamoto busted in one day and was like, "I got an orchestra. I found one." Fell off a truck. yeah, they apparently were like, we don't have money in the budget for that, and he was like, no, I found it. I found the money. I got an orchestra. It's like,
Oh,
what did he
is
do
that
to
the
what
same
did he do to
orchestra
get
that
that
did like
orchestra?
the Legend of Zelda 25th anniversary
I
symphony?
believe that was a different orchestra.
Oh, okay.
I'm not 100% sure. It could be the same, but um, I think that was a specific orchestra that did that tour.
Hmm.
Yeah, so we're at the release now, released in June 2011. So gonna be just about 10 years here, and crazy critical acclaim. Got a 93 on Metacritic, and had got, scored a 10 out of 10 from nearly every major publication. Was like massively praised by critics, and then fans were like, nah,
Dang.
That is always wild when that
nah.
happens.
It is really weird. This is this is probably one of the most divisive like fan critic splits, honestly. But like, yeah, like even IGN gave it Game of the Year. Like it was like a big deal, and a lot of people say like it's pretty common for people to say like this is the worst Zelda
Yeah.
game,
Yeah.
which is wrong.
I've
Shh.
heard
I
that
mean,
a lot.
yeah.
And I also disagree.
Yeah, those people forgot to play Twilight Princess, I guess. But that they're coming for me. Oh God. So this is interesting to me too. This was the fastest selling Zelda game when it came out, but it also sold very few units overall. Um, Only sold 3.4 million units worldwide over its lifetime, and that was when there were nearly 100 million Wii's in the world. So it was like a huge install base. People just didn't buy it. It's interesting. Like I don't know if it's exactly like bad word of mouth or something like that, but people just didn't buy this one. Like the handheld Zeldas were almost all more successful than this, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. Why do you guys have any ideas on why that might have happened?
Uh, I don't know. I mean, Chelsea's played Skyward Sword many times, but again, that's her first Zelda game,
Yeah.
and I've played A Link to the Past, at least 10 times, and
Oh,
that's
okay.
also probably has something to do with it being my first Zelda game. Um, I don't know. I think that Skyward Sword is maybe a better choice for people that haven't already played a bunch of Zelda games, and it's a worse choice for people that have
That's
played
probably
and love
true.
all the other ones.
Because like when I finished Skyward Sword, like I was like, I gotta check out more of these boys, and like I
Yeah.
immediately went and jumped onto, I believe I got Majora's Mask for the 3DS right after that, and then I went to like Ocarina of Time on my like Wii U playing the
Hmm.
N64 version, like, so like no, I got really into Zelda like from playing this game. I was like really into it. Yeah, I don't know. It's always a curious thing to me, and I think that the negatives that a lot of people have about it, like some of the complaints are valid. Like I think it is a little too handholdy at times, and I think the stamina fruit thing is fucking obnoxiously bad. Like it makes no sense. It's crazy because like I remember watching the Game Grumps playing this, and like Aaron's like yelling about it, but he was like, what is the stamina meter in service of here?" And I
Yeah.
was like, I actually don't know, because like in Breath of the Wild, it's like the idea is like you get more stamina, you can explore more, you can explore faster, and get to farther areas, and like that
It's
this stamina doesn't serve any purpose in this game.
the stamina only works as like a limiter for very specific like
But like boss fights or
sand at an
something.
angle areas,
Yeah.
right?
Uh-huh.
Like because you have to have a certain level of stamina in order to make it to the top of
Yeah.
some
Or
Yeah.
like
like
specific areas,
or like
but
climbing stuff, because there are
you
like
could
some
you could easily
climbing.
replace those areas with with an item of something.
Yeah. I mean, like I think there's some valid criticisms. I think it's pretty far from a perfect game, but like I also think people are like a little too harsh on it.
I think people
Yeah.
like to dogpile on it, like because I because I like this game so much. I actually went back and I watched like the entire series on Game Grumps of them playing, and I would actually get
Uh-huh.
like pretty heated about like
She
listening to Aaron complain about it.
she would.
because
She would pause it and be like, I just need to take a break. He's complaining about not he all he needs to do is use his shield, but he at the beginning he said shields are stupid. I'm not going to
That's
use
true.
it.
I
And
remember
then
that happening.
he wouldn't use it, and that's how you beat the game. She was
he
very
would
heated.
I would get mad because he would complain about stuff, and it's like, man, if you had just like read the scroll text of what they told you, like the information that the character, like the NPCs are giving you, or what Fee is giving you, or just like use your goddamn shield. Like he was like, I don't know.
And to
It
be
felt very
fair, like 30
unfair.
episodes in, he did go back in and get a
He did,
shield.
and I felt very vindicated in that moment when that happened. But like he still to me would like complain about he was just like not slowing down and like actually trying to play the game in a skilled way. I think he was just like already annoyed at like the motion controls not working for him in like sword fighting. And so he was just like, "Oh, I hate this, so I'm not even going to try and give it a shot."
I do okay. I do think that maybe it all comes back to like how handholdy the game feels, because like it gets to a certain point where like they're telling you how to climb the ladder for like the third time, and you're just like, fuck you, I know, I've played games. And then you end up skipping through stuff
Important info.
that you need, yeah.
And
That you
that's
need,
fair.
and
I can understand that happening.
and maybe that's also why people that I think probably haven't played as many Zelda games like it more. And then people who had already played games, it was just at the same time too confusing and too handholdy.
I can see it being both of those things at the same time, honestly. I do want to give a shout out quickly to I think maybe my favorite Game Grumps moment is from that with like him trying to remember what the song is, like bada bada boo day, bada bada. What the fuck is the name of the song? Everybody in the fucking world knows what this song is called. What is it? Okay, so yeah, so like you've probably noticed, a lot of elements we've listed here from Skyward Sword did make it into Breath of the Wild, but like we're fixed. They're good now. Yeah. And in a lot of ways, Skyward Sword was like a testing ground for Breath of the Wild. It was like a test of trying to do like an open world, non-linear, dungeon exploration, doing stuff with stamina, with climbing, crafting. You collecting different items and putting them together and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I think that Anuma, when they were making Breath of the Wild, Anuma said that we want to make a better Skyward Sword. Like he literally said that outright.
That checks out to me. And I do love Breath of the Wild. I mean, who doesn't, to be fair, but
yeah.
Oh, I know there's a weird number of people that hate it, like a lot of people.
Okay, weirdos.
They're wrong.
But I squashed them because they're wrong.
Like that's not even like an opinion thing, that you're just factually incorrect.
Not. Yeah, I don't know why you want to be so wrong.
Yeah.
People are so mad because they're like, it's not a Zelda game. Like, yeah, it's better, jackass.
Yeah.
So I want to talk quickly about some of the new items, specifically the Beetle, which I really loved and I'm sad has kind of disappeared.
The Beetle was fun.
I was going to list the Beetle as like one of my favorite Zelda items of any game.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like you just get to fly around a little bit.
I like that one.
Very fun.
I really like the whip.
You do
remind me of the whip. Is it literally just a whip? I can't remember.
You like grab it and you can pull like boxes left or right, or you can
it's kind of it's kind of a little silly because like you can use it almost in this. It's not exactly like the claw shots, but like you can like hook onto like little branch type things and use it to swing you through, or you can like flip over like the floating flowers to where like you don't jump on, because you can't jump on them if their roots up, but if you flip it, then you can jump onto the surface. It's also the item that you get for the ancient cistern dungeon, and that's also just like my favorite dungeon in the whole game. So I might just really like that item because I really like that dungeon.
Is that the time traveler one?
No, because that's in the
which one is the cistern?
The cistern is
it's like very blue.
It's like
okay.
It's kind of flowers. That like I mean it's water based.
Glowing sprites of light shimmering everywhere.
I believe it's in Lake Floria. Yeah, it's once you get into Lake Floria. It's the second time that you go to Barren Woods.
I know this place with the goo. Yeah, I know the goo.
But I really, really like the ancient cistern. It like It's like a giant statue that's like been flooded on the inside, and then you have to like get up to the top. And then once I think you get to the top or you get to the bottom. You get to one section of it, and then you have to fight this creature.
I'm looking at a picture of that statue right now, and like the image that I have is him like with his hand over his chest, like, oh my, like he
Yeah.
just walked on in on undressing.
But the boss at the end of it, I found to be really hard, and it took me like a long time to do it. And so once I finally like beat the boss, I was like, yeah, I'm awesome. Like,
Nice.
I don't think I beat the boss. I think I stopped because
sad.
I think you had to give the Wiimote to me, and then I had to.
I think I did. Yeah,
I beat this boss for you.
Yeah.
Called
in a ringer waggler.
The Galactos, because you have to like smash its arms and then like get the little red glowing thing in its chest, but he like has a bunch of arms, so he keeps like moving it in front of that.
Also, I think I've only ever stabbed on purpose like twice in that game.
You just kind of wave your arm around and hope for the best.
Right. So I also, maybe one last thing I want to touch on is Fi as a companion. I think we've already talked a little bit about. So overall, how did you feel about her?
Slightly negatively.
I would also say slightly negatively.
Okay. Also,
I don't hate her, but
sidebar, is it
like I wouldn't hang out with her.
Is it Fi or is it Fee? Because I've always said
I thought it was Fi.
Okay,
but you said Fee, so I was trying to adapt and improvise.
Chelsea and I have had this conversation more than once.
Yeah, because like you don't Link doesn't have a isn't like, hey Fee or Fi, what's up? Like I've always said Fee, or I think Ryan's always said Fee. We were actually just Ryan was like, one of our friends says Fi, who is it? And I was like, I don't know, and apparently it's you, Nirav. But
Jesus.
But I don't.
I'm trying to look. I'm just googling right now because I need to see.
I guess I would also, but while you're googling, I would agree with Ryan and say slightly negative. Like she's helpful sometimes, but sometimes I would actually need like an answer to a question, and I would like go through the menus to do that, and then she would just give me completely useless information and like wouldn't help me at all. I was like, and that's how I learned to access walkthroughs, because I needed a walkthrough for this in places. But she was, I guess, maybe moderately negative, because she was like, she would that whole like, oh yeah, the percentage, like 97% sure this is the right direction. It's like, just say it's the right direction. Like,
bitch, what about that other 3%?
Yeah, like right. What are you doing? And then like there was also those times when you would like get like the thing, like the power you needed from the sword, and you would learn a song, and then she would sing, and watching her sing is horrifying. It is some eldritch, like uncanny valley shit. Like, please, if you haven't played this game or you don't remember, go look up a YouTube clip of that, because it's horrifying. Like, it's just, I don't know, it always creeps me out. I didn't like her, I guess. Yeah, moderately negative. I also don't think she's as cute as the one from Ocarina of Time. Like, hey, listen, like she's just not cute. She's just annoying and unhelpful.
So this has also been annoying and unhelpful, my research here. Okay, so it's pronounced in several different ways, obviously by different people, but so if you look back to like so apparently every time Nintendo officials, when they're speaking in English, pronounce it, they say Fi, but they say her Japanese name, the Romaji, like the Romaji for it reads Fai, which is pronounced as Faye, and in the Spanish version she's actually called Faye. But if you translate the katakana into the Greek letter Phi, which I think is where her name comes from, then it would be pronounced Phi. So like nobody really knows, because like the Japanese translation is actually spelled Faye, which is not either of those.
Yeah. I'm just going to keep saying
Fee, fi, fey, fum. I smell the blood of a sky boy. All right. I don't know. He's a sky boy. That's right. Okay, are there enough ghosts? Let's close this out.
Yeah, there's enough.
Were there like Poes in this one? I
mean, well, I guess, do spirits count as ghosts?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's enough. There's enough.
Okay. Good work. You guys got enough ghosts in there. All right, so let's jump to our closing little bit here. Dungeon Busters, which I don't know if you're familiar with, Chelsea. This is new for season 2.
Oh,
She's not.
I'm not familiar, so
Okay, give me just 1 second. I need to grab my cards. What? What cards? Wait.
How many times did I redo that last demise battle, Chelsea?
I hope you guys were
God.
talking so I don't have like a full minute of dead air.
oh no, it was
I
it
just
was dead
started.
air.
It was
Oh.
mostly dead air.
Also, Nirav, I just
Great.
wanted to let you know
Huh?
for like fun fact, I am actually taking the day off of work the day that this game premieres or is dropped
Oh
for.
Yeah.
wow, you're doing it?
Yeah, I'm
Oh,
taking the
that's
day
doing it.
off, so and I'm
absolute legend.
It's the pro
pre-ordering
gamer
it.
move.
I do not really consider myself like a gamer, you know. But like I found
Yeah.
I've never been this excited for a game to come out.
You get a
Like-
special badge when you take off work for the release of a game. Actually,
Cool. But
Okay,
I'm
great.
just very excited.
all of the
actually,
gatekeepers like allow you through one extra door in the gate.
that did remind me of something I did want to ask. I forgot about. Are you getting the Zelda amiibo, and how do you feel about that whole thing?
Okay, so I don't know about the what the whole thing is. I'm like very much into the Marie Kondo thing of like not having a
Mhm.
whole lot of shit in your house.
Chelsea is anti amiibo.
Yeah, I like
Oh no.
because like I don't like having just like I don't want it. Like, what am I gonna do when that gets to my house? Like, do I have to like I have to find a place to put it, and then do I need to like put a shelf up? Like, I don't know. I just don't like having knickknacks to collect dust in my home, even if they're cute and like surround my hobbies. Like,
Well, just put all the amiibos in between all of the plants.
I actually have a little amiibo shelf.
see, but
to display
that
on
and
my
that makes
desk.
sense. But like, I don't know. I don't want to. I don't. There's just not enough.
That's
there's
fine.
just-
So the thing people are mad about is that the amiibo adds a new function into the game that lets you fast travel if you scan the amiibo.
Okay, what the hell? Am I gonna have to buy this amiibo now?
Well, okay, so listen, what it actually does is that like if you're in a dungeon, you can be anywhere and you can scan it, and then you'll just like basically be back at Skyloft, and then you can scan it again, and then you'll go back to that exact same spot in the dungeon.
God.
I don't feel like, to me, I don't think that was a huge problem. I think there are enough checkpoints,
Yeah,
to be honest.
I think so. Yeah, that just sounds
Yeah,
convenient.
I mean it's a like slightly more useful, like
Also,
in
I don't
the
want to scan
teleporter
a.
in Breath
Also,
of the
it's
Wild.
a big statue of Zelda and a Loftwing, and like I don't want to pick up like a fucking like foot tall statue and slide it over my Joy-Cons.
No.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty terrible. Yeah.
People are mad about that though, but like I think I'd be madder if it was like a function from the old game that was like suddenly locked away behind buying an amiibo.
Yeah.
But I guess it's a new thing, so I don't care too
Yeah,
much.
that's
But,
fair.
yeah. All right. So let's get into Dungeon Busters. So Chelsea, what we're gonna do is I have this game called Super Fight, which is this card game that has a lot of characters and abilities and stuff in it, and Dungeon Duck. And what we're gonna do is we're heading to basement floor 7 of the dungeon, and I'm gonna pull cards that randomly assign you guys both characters, and then you're gonna get powers as well, and then we're gonna work our way through 3 rooms of the dungeon and fight a boss. Kind of a D&D sort of a thing, but mini.
Chelsea's gonna be very excited to try this.
Okay,
We'll get through
it's fun.
it.
It's fun. It's just improv. It's just improv.
That's
okay.
my worst nightmare.
Come on. It's just jokes. It's just games.
Oh
It's
God.
just games. All right. Oh, sorry, that was the one we used last week. Let me pull from the other side here. Okay. Ryan, you are an android that thinks it's a human.
Hello.
So just
very
real
near,
life.
very near themed today.
Hey. Thank you.
Okay, and then Chelsea, you are a kindergarten class. You are an entire class of kindergartners.
Got it.
Okay, great. And then each of you are going to get 2 powers. Now, these powers might be good or bad. I can't be sure until we have them. So, Ryan, your 2 things are your clothes are way too big.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm a stylish.
And you can control gravity.
Okay. All right.
One
That's
of
a
those
pretty
things
good
is
That's
one.
a
way
power.
cooler than the other.
Okay, Chelsea, let's see
No,
how cool
no,
your things are.
they're both necessary because I'm wearing such baggy clothes. The video of me using it, like all of the bagginess of the clothes starts to just lift up. It's very cool looking.
Sure.
It's a stylistic
I'll allow
decision.
it. Okay, Chelsea, you are so I guess this applies to the entire kindergarten class, wearing an impenetrable tuxedo.
Oh.
Oh
Okay.
wow. Okay, I
Pretty
feel a
good.
lot better about these kindergartners' chances.
It's a good poll. And then it says you can change into blank at will, and I need to draw a character
Oh
card
God,
again.
I could just change into like a class of first graders or something.
No,
I got K-pop star.
Awesome.
Okay,
Does the K-pop
Wow.
star get to still wear the impenetrable tux?
I will say
Okay.
yes. I'm gonna say that you Voltron into one single K-pop star.
Perfect.
Oh,
Okay, so let's get into the dungeon. All right, your first room. Oh wow, it's a room of amateur improv comics in an infinite time loop. How do you get past them?
in an infinite time loop. Um, Chelsea, do you have any ideas?
Can it be nap time?
You guys can't
Can
die.
it be nap time for the kindergartners? Will that do anything for us?
If it's nap time for
Oh,
you, is that
shh,
gonna?
guys, you gotta be quiet. The kids are actually sleeping.
Okay.
Um,
I'm sorry.
can you just take a quick break?
Yeah, sure.
Maybe 30 minutes.
Okay. I'm gonna say that's good enough. We didn't even need to use any powers. Nice. All right. The next room, is a gauntlet lined with jerk-seeking missile turrets. Are you guys jerks?
I don't think so.
You telling me you have a whole kindergarten class with no jerks in it, Chelsea?
Well, no.
No.
They for this they will need to transform
Yes,
into a single K-pop
I've
star.
transformed into the K-pop star, and if you ask any of my stans, of course I'm not a jerk.
Perfect. Yeah. Perfect human being.
Which member of the band are you? Are you like the smart one, or like the cute one, or the bad boy?
I'm the cute.
Can't be the bad
I'm the
boy.
cute one for sure. The cute
You're
one.
the cute one. Okay. Nice. Yeah, the missiles have no idea who to hit.
And also,
right, nice.
Ryan is an android and not a human, and I don't know if androids can be jerks because they're not humans. I think jerk is an
They can be
innately
jerks.
human quality.
Androids can be
Okay, but
jerks.
I
I think they can be jerks.
I was trying to
the
help
mirror
you,
games.
Ryan.
No, I know. Thank you. Thank you for looking after me.
Okay. Let's see. And then here's our final room. This is the throne room of an immortal king that demands to be entertained.
Well, that's very easy. Would the king like to see a floating K-pop star perform their best work?
Sure. Chelsea, why don't you go and give me a live rendition of what that might sound like?
That's okay.
And I.
Okay, we'll just auto-tune that's okay, and we'll
Perfect.
get that out there.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Okay, yeah, you guys have made it through the dungeon. Good work, everybody.
Woo.
I was imagining one of the members of BTS, but I don't know which one because I can't tell them apart.
I'm old. I'm an old lady. I know nothing about K-pop. I don't think I've heard a single song like that wasn't in the background of something.
So I personally am actually a Blackpink stan, and so maybe I could get you into that. But,
I just know that there are.
But also maybe you don't.
I don't know if it's for me. I just know there's a lot of K-pop stans on Twitter.
Yeah.
And that they like to troll the Proud Boys, I think, or some right.
They like to troll pretty much problematic right-wing people.
So I like K-pop stans. They're all right with me, you know.
I think they're doing God's work out there. Okay, great.
I would like to petition that whoever whoever has to go through the dungeon next gets to start with a morale boost from, sort of like in a race when there's little kids on the sides, and you get to high five them.
Oh, that's kind of nice. I would like for there to be some continuity between them. Sure, we'll do that.
Yay.
Okay, very cool. So let's go ahead and close out. Thank you guys for joining me, and thank you to Todd Howard. Did he do something on this one? What do you make?
He's an inspiration.
He actually, this is not for Skyward Sword, unfortunately, but like Anuma actually said that Skyrim was their direct inspiration for Breath of the Wild.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah.
Look at him go.
Yeah, so anyway, you can find us at GameLuster.com and YouTube.com/GameLuster. You can check out some of our good videos. My friend Josh and I just finished our horrifying tour of Together B&B, a Chinese dating sim with a 30% on Steam, and lots of big titty anime girls in there if that's your thing. We shoot them. So
the girls or the tits?
And so you can find us on Twitter at GameLuster'sPod. And you can find me on Twitter at Gondizi. Yeah, do you guys have any plugs, Ryan? You do anything creatively you'd like to shout out?
Go watch Let's Make a Chelsea.
Yeah, actually, Ryan and Chelsea are a regular guest for Let's Make a Chelsea, which is a sort of character creation little thing that we do on the GameLuster channel, where we try to recreate an evil version of Chelsea.
Ryan stole my plug. I was also gonna plug Let's Make a Chelsea. It's funny. Go watch it.
I'm gonna let you have the plug, Chelsea, because you are the Chelsea.
Thank you.
The video.
Yeah, it's my likeness that's being bastardized, so I should.
Right. I'm just the labor that creates value in this scenario. Okay. I see what situation I'm in.
So if you guys have Apple products or whatever, leave us a review on iTunes. That really helps with visibility and stuff. Does Google have the reviews? I don't think they do.
There's the Google Podcast app. That's what I use to listen to podcasts.
I don't think there's reviews on it.
To my knowledge, I think Apple is the only podcast service that has reviews on it. But okay. So yeah, if you guys want to check in with us, we're going to be doing some cool stuff coming up with our Video Games the Musical, and probably the last week of June we're planning on doing another Good Games Inc. episode, so stay tuned for that. I already have 18 submissions from people just over the last few months, just sending me things with no context, including a picture of, I think, the statue of Saint Maria, but spray painted to look like Wario.
Mm-hmm. I sent that one to you.
That might have been you, Ryan.
It was
so. Okay, yeah. So I guess we need a last word to get us out of here. And get us out of this dungeon.
That word is hags.
Have a great summer. Oh my god, I just had a weird flashback to 5th grade, signing yearbooks out on the fucking patio or whatever, on the last day of school.
Yep.
We always signed
hags, bitches.
We always signed ours in our gym, and the gym had a very particular smell.
Oh, great.
Or that you can't disassociate with hags.
Yeah, not anymore.
It smells like teen summer.
Oh my god. All right. Cats, everybody.
I don't think so.
What was it? No, there was the thing that was KATS. It was kick ass this summer. That was what it was.
Right.
Oh, we were not creative enough in Texas for that one, or at least in my little corner.
You think that us our massive brain power in South Carolina overpowered you?
Cats did not make it to Podunk ass Texas.
No.
Oh, you grew up in Podunk, Texas?
Yeah, I did.
Darn tootin'.
I've heard about that town a lot. It does not sound like things are going well there.
It's not. I don't recommend it. Don't raise your children there for sure.
Last thing, do not raise your children in Texas. All right, we'll see you guys. And if somehow, Risha, you are one of our listeners, I apologize.